Another episode of Tell Your Story. I'm your host, Todd Nesloni, the Director of Culture and Strategic Leadership for TEPSA. And each episode, I look to bring you a different guest who has encouraged, inspired, or challenged me in one way or another, and invite them on to share a piece of their story in hopes that it inspires you to tell some of yours. I am so thrilled this week to have my friend on here, Amen Rahh. Thank you so much for being. Tell everybody a
Yes,
little about who you
sir.
are.
Hey, first off, thanks for having me, man. It's an honor to be on this wonderful show. A little bit about myself, man. I'm the founder and principal of a high school out here in Watts, California, University Pathways Public Service Academy, the U. Born and raised from Compton. I say that with honor. I say that just letting pretty much putting that narrative that, man, it's a lot of great people that come from my city. So always just wearing that on my shoulder. And just being a social change agent for the community, for my students, for parents, just for stakeholders, and just having a mission to revolutionize the educational experience, man. That's pretty much what I'm about.
I love it. And I've gotten to know you recently, and I love what you stand for and what you're doing. And so thinking about, kind of your entrance into education, did you grow up knowing you wanted to be in education?
Wow, man. You know what? I would say I come from a family of educators, but I never wanted to get into education, So I like to say I think like education chose me in a sense because I fought it for years. My father was a professor for 34 years. I mean, the youngest of six, 5 of us are in education as teachers, professors, principals, right? So I found education. I always was a motivator though. So I always loved motivation, always was in it, but I really got into education because I thought it was cool. I had summers off. It was that type of gig. So I started to be a teacher assistant. I was like, man, this is cool. This is really summers off was really great. And then I found this like love for just really getting other people to find their hidden treasure in life. And while doing that, I found my hidden treasure using that language from my favorite book, The Alchemist. And it just proceeded and it just started to just matriculate into this like unwavering type of love for kids and for adults and for just people in general, just like human beings. And it got me here.
Now, how did you end up at the U? Because I love what you're building over there at that campus with those kids, but how did you end up at the U? Because this is a whole new thing for the LA Unified School District, is it not?
Yeah. This is we're one of 2 schools in LAUSD. I'm one of 2 principals that had an opportunity to pretty much write and design a plan for a school in LAUSD, straight from like literally a grassroots school. So it's really a phenomenal experience. How I got there is my whole family are born in Watts and Compton. So I started my career at a middle school in Watts, then became an assistant principal, kind of streamlined real quick. I like to say it was truly divine intervention on how things happen. Like I got promoted being an assistant principal when our district was shut down because of a bomb threat. And I had to go to a school to make sure it was safe. And the principal there was looking for an assistant principal to like really revolutionize the culture there. So literally had an interview during the district shutdown, kind of one-on-one, and she hired me. And then next thing you know, did some work there for about a year and a half. And then opportunity kind of just said, hey, we're opening up this new school. We're looking for this like type of principal that's young, that's really trying to push the envelope. And I said, listen, you're going to get me, you better be ready because this is what you're going to get. Right. So luckily I had the support of the district, the director, to literally come up with a logo, plan, everything in like a short period of time. So the birth of the U, I like to say that it happened throughout the trajectory of my career. So you can see the U. Shout outs to Miami University. I can't say the U without doing the original, the U Miami University. But I remember it vividly, sitting around with district personnel, like people that support the school, and they were like, "Hey, in a week we need the color scheme, we need the mascot, we need the whole thing because we had to push this out." And they was like, "What's your mascot is going to be?" And I said, "I'm sitting around. I'm like, we're going to be called the Change Agents." And they looked at me and they were like, Change agents? What is a change agent? You know, and I said it's gonna be a mascot that really provides hope, critical hope, but it's gonna mean something, you know, and nothing against like high schools, you know, you have Rams and Panthers and all that stuff, which is cool. But I wanted to refer to my students as change agents, so eventually in their mind, they can be the positive change that we want to see in our community and ultimately in the world. So then we just hired staff and just tried to just change the game. We really just try to think outside the box and do things differently at the U.
Well, and that's what I love about what you're trying to do over there is you're constantly thinking outside the box, looking at ways to build a brand for your school. People know who you are, recognize that y'all deck out in your gear, you're proud of it. You can tell your kids, your students have taken such ownership of that building and what y'all are trying to build. And I'm sure that's reflective then in the academics, because when people want to be somewhere, they work harder while they're there, right?
Absolutely. You know, that sense of belonging is so critical, especially at, I think, any school, but at the U, we really have a foundation with building a sense of belonging for all of our students and all of our teachers. I talk to my staff all the time is, you know, happy wife, happy life, happy house, happy spouse. In a sense of just like building relationships is the core. Like our foundation is be humble, be hungry, be smart as a staff, and be humble in the sense that we all are talented at our school. We all have a lot of different things. So just like fulfill like everything with like humility. Also be hungry. There's not a lot of people that want to come to Watts. We are in our area, was considered the most challenging area in entire LAUSD. So be hungry and know that we're coming with a certain level of mentality, that Mamba mentality, rest in peace, Kobe, to our kids. And then also be smart and not just know your content, be the professional in your content, but also be smart with interpersonal relationships and understanding your team and understanding your students and understanding the trauma, understanding like the relevancy that we have to kind of do things at our school. So that all together creates this sense of belonging where kids now will run through a wall for their teacher. They will run to their laptop to get on distant learning because they want that connection. So it's really been phenomenal.
Well, you know, and I think about all the work you pour into that school and everything you're trying to build there, but you've also got your own family at home that you come home to every day. How do you balance everything?
You know, that's a work in progress. You know, as my wife and daughter walks, as my wife and daughter walks by, right? It's like, okay, after this, let's go out and like walk around and get some things. That work-life balance is really, really something. When you figure it out, Todd, please send the blueprint to me so I can like try to just go after it, because it's really tough. And then especially building a school literally from scratch, it's like a startup company. It's like everything, you don't get that full support, and then you care about it so much, you know. It's like almost like this crazy obsession I have, because it's just like a love and it's what you do, your passion and your love together. But I think being aware is so important for me, like understanding that I need to like turn off work and like really be present. And my wife does a great job of reminding me, like, yo, be present. Like now, I need you present, and like having that person that could be that balancing for you is really important. And it's be honest with you, Todd, I haven't mastered it yet. As we sit here and talk.
I think that truly is the case for all of us. I think we always see how we could be balancing better, and we have different tips and tricks. But I think that what you said there was just great advice, just to have that person too that's going to hold you accountable and let you know that, hey, be present right now. I need you to be here, because we get so caught up in things that we love that we need those people in our lives that we respect and care about to hold us accountable.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, meditation, before you go, meditation has really helped me out. I've been using this app called Headspace. And like literally 2 minutes have done like wonders for me in regards to just understanding on being present, taking these deep breaths where I'm not thinking about, like when I'm driving to work, I would have like 30 conversations in the car in my head. All right, like, all right, I gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do this. And just like having that time where I'm not thinking about that has really helped me out.
I love that. Well, you know, kind of switching gears a little bit, you know, thinking about your life and all the things you've been through that have helped create the man you are today. When you look at all those things, what is, looking back on your life, what's one thing that really sticks out as that was really instrumental in creating the man I am today?
Ooh, One thing, man, I
And I
would
know there's a
probably
lot, but
say, like, there's a lot. There's a lot, man. I reflect on a few things when he grade. And I'm the youngest. All my siblings was at college and different things like that. And he wrote me this letter. And I have it to this day, and I read it. And he really just said, and he always used to tell me, change the world, son. Don't let the world change you. Right. And I say it to my students, and I say it to like anybody I come across with. And that really resonated with me, with change like my mindset as a 16-year-old kid, to really change my values and really understand like what I'm about and what I stand for. And when he said that, I really started thinking about just who I wanted to be and what I want to represent and what I want to go for and what I want to put out in this world. And that really geared me towards positivity, really geared towards a lot of different things. Because during 15, 16, 17, I was not doing all the positive things and that I'm doing now. You know, it was really on that verge of picking which way I was going to go in regards to life, where a lot of my friends didn't go the same way I went. So that letter really was instrumental to becoming an educator.
I bet. And now looking at who you are now and the success you had and the work you continue to pour in, I'm sure there's still moments where doubt begins to creep in, where you wonder, am I the right person to lead this? What am I up here talking about this for? Like, how do you keep that doubt from overtaking you?
You pause for a second. Could you repeat that for me?
How do you keep doubt from overtaking?
You know what? I always have different outlets of inspiration. Man, but you know what? Being in this seat, you have those days, and my wife would be like, "Listen, you calm down, take a deep breath." But I continuously to read up on my people that inspire me. So like Nipsey Hussle inspires me, my father inspires me, Kobe Bryant inspires me, Brene Brown inspires me. So I always will go back to like read different things from them to let me know that, you know what, it's okay. And there's always something that you're never going to have it perfect. And although like I'm a Virgo, so born in September, Virgo, and one side of Virgos, it's like we have this like weird, quirky perfectionist side. And you can do something great. It's like, wait, no, that wasn't right. It's like, I can do better. And it's like this, I can do better. I can do, like, this could be better. And this reflection, you can put a lot of anxiety and stress on yourself. Like I'm my own worst critic, so having these outlets of inspiration, but also these outlets of people that are saying like, yeah, you could do better, but like, hold on, like things are okay. Like things are really okay, and be grounded in that awareness of that is really important for me. But like having people and books around, I'm a big like geek when it comes to like inspirational books, helps me ground myself with like, hey, yes, I'm pushing, but also being present, going back to that present in the moment of like, things could be a lot worse and things could be a lot better, but like be happy for the moment right now.
I love that. And I think that's great advice for people to hear. And so, and in talking about that kind of stuff, it leads me to my next question. Right now we are in really uncharted territory, new avenues where everybody's uncomfortable, displaced, learning new things. What advice do you have for educators right now as we all go through this same trials?
During the chaos of this, and during the traumatic experience that many students, many adults, many workers have, try to find the silver lining of having fun, like finding joy. For example, like although I'm a principal, I get online and I teach my students, and I have fun with my staff. We did an online family feud. With the game Family Feud, with our staff and with our students, to enjoy, to find joy through the chaos, right? And I think it's important for us as educators, but just as human beings, to still find some joy in this process, because this is an experience that we're all going to be connected. I don't know how it is out there in Texas, but like you find people like saying, "Hey, like how you doing? Things okay?" 6 feet away, like. People are communicating and people are friendly. Out here in California, there's times where you can be like, hey, and to me. You know what I mean? Like, like there's people out here knowing like there's something powerful about a shared experience.
Right.
right? And I think finding joy with this shared experience can get us through it, smiling. So I think it's important for us as educators to find that joy factor during this time.
And I think that's great. You know, there's so many things in our lives that we go through that it's all about perspective and all about changing our perspective and being able to find the good even when we're so overwhelmed with the negative and the bad. And our kids are always watching us and
Yeah,
trying to
absolutely.
take ideas and they feed off of our emotions. And so I think your advice of finding the joy is perfect right now. And that's a great advice for any time in any season of life when you're going through unexpected things. Well,
Absolutely.
Amen. One of the one things I love to end all these conversations on is if there was one thing that you wish more people in this life knew or understood, what would your one thing be?
Whew. One thing I would say one thing that I would want people to understand is the amount of good people that exists on our planet. You know, I think like with the news, with everything, like you can always hear the bad things because that's what sells a lot of time. It's all these negative things, but there's a lot of good people in this world that's doing really great things. The story, and that's why I love what you tell my story because the story is so powerful, and I think there's so many good people doing great things. And I wish like that will be mainstream media off of
Right.
like how many positive people are doing positive things for people. I think that would just spread love and joy throughout the world. And lastly is I wish everybody could understand the what it's like to walk in the shoes of someone suffering through poverty
Yeah. That's
and
powerful.
targeted poverty. I would say that.
Yeah. Well, Amen, thank you
That's
so
it.
much for agreeing to come on as a guest today. I absolutely love the work you're doing and getting to spend time with you. I just love just the person you are and how you're changing lives. And so thank you for giving me some time today.
I know. Thank you, man. Stay safe. I know you continue to do the great work, and hopefully we'll link up again soon in the future.
That's right. Thank you, everybody, for joining another episode of Tell Your Story. Remember, you can check out past episodes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts, it's there. I hope you've enjoyed today's conversation and that it's encouraged you to get out there and tell your story because every story matters.